Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to make your own mayonnaise from scratch. So I'm going to get right to it. Here's the ingredients you're going to need. You're going to need 1 egg. You're going to need lemon juice. I like fresh. You can use bottled if you like. Dijon mustard, apple cider vinegar, garlic powder, salt. I'm using, I grind my own Himalayan salt. You can use any kind of salt you want, but be mindful that if you're using table salt, you might want to cut it in half. So this is going to be a 1/4 teaspoon, but you're going to probably only use 1/8 of a teaspoon. And pepper. And last but not least, you will need sunflower oil. I like sunflower oil because it's lighter and it gives it a lighter, it's a little more creamy instead of being very thick, because olive oil and avocado oil are thicker. Plus they also give the mayonnaise a little bit of a almost bitterness to the flavor. And this is very light, so it lets the other flavors blend together and come through, in my opinion. So and I use an Immersion blender or stick blender. You could use a high-speed blender or a mixer, but I am not sure how the results would be. This is going to be with the Immersion blender. If you used a bullet, it would probably work, but you'd have to, whoops, that just fell off. You would have to stop it and frequently and let it air into it. So anyway, I'm going to attach this back on. Okay, so this is the container that comes with the stick blender, and usually the containers that come with it are the best to use. So if you have one of these, you probably know it's not a good idea to lose this, because it kind of has the right shape for the blender. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to crack the egg in there. I use the whole egg. Some people recommend you only use the white. I use the whole egg. It turns out delicious every time, so I don't know what the deal is with removing the yolk. But anyways, next you're going to add a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Whoops, that just sputtered all over my hand. Oh my goodness. This is my first video. Okay, 1 tablespoon. Okay, there's that. Okay, and then we're going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice. So I'm going to squeeze that. I like to measure stuff, but you can eyeball it, I suppose, if you want. I'm just going to squeeze a tablespoon right in here, into my tablespoon that the Dijon mustard was in. Also, a lot of times they will recommend that you use bottled lemon juice. I don't know why. The fresh comes out beautifully every time, and I like everything fresh. Add a little extra. Okay. A seed. I don't want the seed. Okay, and next ingredient is 1.5 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. I'm gonna shake mine because mine is pure apple cider vinegar and all the mother has settled to the bottom, all that brown stuff. So I'm mixing it back in. Okay, 1.5 teaspoon. There's one. There's the half. Okay. 1.5 teaspoon of ground pepper. I'm not going to put that much pepper in mine. I'm only going to put 1/4 teaspoon, okay? Because I find that 1.5 is almost too spicy. So I actually only do like 1/4. And that works out just fine for me. Okay. So I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay. Now, and 1/4 teaspoon of Himalayan salt. Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to add a little bit of oil. I use organic sunflower seed. So I'm just going to add a little bit because I don't want it to splash. But that's just a few, probably maybe a couple tablespoons there to start. So I'm going to blend it up. And then I'm going to add slowly an extra cup. Okay? I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to eyeball it. So I'm going to get it blended. Everything's mixed. Now I'm going to start adding the oil as I'm blending. You can see it's starting to thicken already. So this is about how thick I like mine. It's really good. And it's done. That's actually done. So now I'm just going to get a jar to put it in. Be right back. Okay, so I'm actually going to make another batch because I want to. Now you can double the ingredients and make a double batch, and that's fine, but I don't recommend doing it more than double at a time because it just changes the way that it blends together, I guess. I don't know. But I found that if I try to make too much in one batch, it doesn't come out, the consistency doesn't come out right, and sometimes it gets over blended. Okay, so we're gonna go this in the jar, and I'm going to make one more batch so you can watch me do it one more time. My goodness, am I sloppy or what? Okay, so next, so then you would just put it in a jar, put a lid on it, store it in the refrigerator. They say up to 4 days, but I've kept mine up to a week and nothing, even longer. Because with the apple cider vinegar and the lemon juice, it kind of helps preserve it, but we use a lot of mayonnaise, so ours is usually used up in a week or 10 days at the most anyway. So I'm going to do it one more time, okay? Let's go. 1 egg. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Oh goodness, my dog. Actually, it's my daughter's dog. Okay, I'm just gonna scoop out the last little bit of. Shh! Stop. Okay, and then again, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Okay. Oh goodness. It's coming out the back. Okay. I am such a sloppy cook. Trust me though, this is a delicious recipe. It comes out great. Okay, and then 1.5 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. Quarter teaspoon of ground pepper. It calls for 1.5, but like I said, I'm going to use a quarter because I don't want that much pepper in mine. All right, and a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder. And you can even add a little extra. I mean, the seasoning's pretty much to taste. Okay, a quarter teaspoon of salt. All right, a little bit of that, just to kind of keep it from splashing. You don't have to do that. Just be careful not to lift up the blender up too high, or it'll splash everything all over the place. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add our cup of oil slowly. can see that it's now starting to thicken up. The more oil you add, the thicker it's going to be. Say that or not, but the more oil, the thicker it's going to get, okay? As long as you're adding it slowly. If you dump it in too fast, then it might not thicken. It may never thicken up very much. You want to make sure that you're pumping air into it as you're adding the oil. Okay, and that's pretty much it. There again, we have a nice thick mayonnaise consistency. It's really good. It is really good. I definitely love it over store-bought now that I've gotten used to it. It's fresher and it just tastes more, tastes more wholesome. It's not so, I don't know what the word is, but anyways, it's much better. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you make it and enjoy it, and I hope that this tutorial was helpful. And please feel free to put your comments below. This is the new channel. I don't even have a name yet, but feel free to subscribe. And enjoy.